All right, so you landed that bicycle assembler interview. Congrats. Feeling a little nervous.
Totally understandable.
Yeah, pre-interview jitters are like a rite of passage, right?
Absolutely.
Don't worry, though.
We got you.
We've got your back. Today's deep dive is all about acing that interview.
Using the RoleCatcher guides?
Yes, using the awesome RoleCatcher guides.
They are packed with info.
They're incredible, seriously.
Yeah.
They're packed with information about what assemblers actually do.
Industry trends.
Yeah, industry trends and even career paths.
It's really amazing how much these guides cover.
Yeah.
One thing that really stood out to me was the industry trends section.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
The rise of e-bikes.
Huge.
It's changing the game.
It's changing everything.
Meaning you might be working on bikes
Right.
that are more tech-heavy than ever before.
Yeah.
Imagine prepping for that in an interview.
Definitely not your grandpa Schwinn anymore.
No.
But let's get down to the nitty-gritty.
Okay.
We're going to tackle some common interview questions head on
Give you the tools.
and give you the tools to just blow them away.
All right.
So first up,
This is a classic.
describe your experience with bicycle assembly.
Now, honesty is key here.
Oh, yeah.
Don't embellish your experience.
Right.
But highlight anything relevant.
So true.
Even if you haven't worked professionally as an assembler,
Yeah.
think about any transferable skills you possess.
Like what?
Wow.
What kind of things are we thinking about?
The Getting Started section in the guide has a great tip for this.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
Even volunteering at a bike shop
Makes sense.
or fixing your own bike counts.
That's true.
Initiative goes a long way.
It really does.
The interviewer wants to see if you have a basic understanding of
Right.
how things work mechanically.
Right.
Have you ever assembled furniture from IKEA?
Oh, yeah. We've all been there.
Fixed a flat tire?
Sure.
Those experiences demonstrate attention to detail
For sure.
and a willingness to get your hands dirty.
Yeah, you got to be willing to get in there.
Absolutely.
And speaking of getting your hands dirty, the career stage profiles in the guide
Yeah.
are super helpful.
So helpful.
There's an example of someone with limited experience
Oh, wow.
who aced their interview
How'd they do that?
by talking about how they completely overhauled their own bike.
Cool.
They highlighted skills like problem solving and patience, which are so essential for an assembler.
It's all about showcasing your potential.
Right.
Now, let's say the interviewer follows up with,
Okay.
what's the most challenging assembly you've ever tackled?
Oh, that's a good one.
Don't be afraid to get specific.
Okay.
Talk about the steps you took to solve it
Mm-hmm.
and what you learned from the experience.
Yeah, showing that you can learn from challenges is huge.
It's a big plus.
Okay, next question.
Get me.
How do you ensure bicycles are assembled correctly and safely?
Ooh, this one's a biggie.
It is.
Because it's not just about the bike working,
Right.
but about someone's safety.
Exactly. You're responsible for someone's safety when you're building these bikes.
Absolutely. And remember, bicycle assemblers often assemble accessories too,
Oh, like what kind of accessories?
like tag-alongs
Oh, yeah.
and trailers.
That makes sense.
That adds another layer of safety considerations.
For sure.
Especially if you're dealing with something
Yeah.
that's going to be carrying a child.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, no pressure.
The What They Do section in the guide actually mentions this.
Oh, perfect. Okay, so how can you really impress the interviewer with this answer?
Highlight your methodical approach.
Okay.
Maybe you have a system for double-checking each step,
Right.
like a mental checklist or a physical one.
I like that.
Employers love to see that you're organized and detail-oriented.
A checklist shows that you're taking safety seriously.
Absolutely.
You can even mention specific safety checks you'd perform, like testing the brakes
Yes.
or making sure all the bolts are properly tightened.
Excellent point.
Yeah.
And don't be surprised if the interviewer throws a curveball.
Ooh, like what?
Like, imagine a customer brings in a bike with a loose headset.
Okay, yeah, that happens.
What steps would you take to diagnose and fix the issue?
Ooh, that's a good one.
This is where your knowledge of bike components and
Yeah.
repair techniques comes into play.
That's a good point. It's not just about assembling.
Right.
It's about knowing how to fix things when they go wrong.
Exactly.
So let's move on to a question that really tests your problem-solving skills.
Okay.
How do you troubleshoot issues during assembly?
Because things don't always go smoothly.
Never.
So how do you handle those inevitable snags?
Yeah, everyone runs into a snag every now and then.
The pros and cons section of the guide mentions that repetitive tasks
Yeah.
can sometimes lead to errors.
That's true. It's easy to zone out.
It is.
Yeah, and then make a little mistake.
This question is your chance to show that you can think on your feet
Okay.
and find solutions when faced with challenges.
All right, so here's a scenario for you. You're assembling a bike,
Okay, I'm ready.
and you realize The derailleur hanger is bent.
Oh.
What's your next move?
First, don't panic.
Oh, good advice.
Explain how you'd carefully assess the damage.
Right.
Is it something you can fix, or does it require a replacement part?
Right.
Mention any specific tools you'd use,
Okay.
like a derailleur hanger alignment gauge.
Okay, very specific.
You want to show that you know your stuff.
Yes, definitely. And while mechanical knowledge is crucial,
It is.
don't forget that customer service plays a huge role in this job.
Huge.
The specialism section in the guide actually states that 62% of bicycle assemblers
Wow.
consider customer service a key part of their role.
That's right.
So when answering this question,
Yeah.
also emphasize your communication skills.
Makes sense.
How would you explain the issue to the customer
Right.
in a way that's clear and reassuring?
That's a good point.
Yeah, you don't want to freak anybody out.
No, you want to build that trust.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, let's tackle question 4.
Okay.
How do you ensure bicycles are assembled efficiently and on time?
Efficiency is key.
It is. We know from the work environment section that bike shops can be super busy.
It can be crazy.
Yeah, so time management is essential.
It's a balancing act.
Yeah, how do you find that balance?
You need to be efficient without sacrificing quality or accuracy.
Right.
You could talk about how you prioritize tasks.
Okay,
Organize your workspace to minimize wasted movement.
that's a good tip.
Or use any techniques to streamline the assembly process.
Yeah, make it like a well-oiled machine.
Exactly.
And remember, the guide mentions that there's potential for advancement in this field.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah,
Demonstrating your efficiency
yeah.
can help you climb the ladder.
It's how you stand out.
Now, a savvy interviewer might follow up with,
Oh, like what?
tell me about a time you had to meet a tight deadline.
Okay.
How did you manage your time and ensure the project was completed successfully?
Oh, that's a good one.
This is your chance to shine by sharing a specific example that highlights your organizational skills.
I love it. So we've covered 4 key questions so far.
We're on a roll.
And I think it's a good time to pause
Okay.
and talk about how RoleCatcher's AI can help you personalize your answers.
Absolutely. RoleCatcher's AI feedback feature is incredible.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing.
You can input the job description, practice your answers,
Mm-hmm.
and the AI analyzes your responses.
I love that.
It highlights areas for improvement, offers suggestions,
Wow.
and even helps you tailor your language
Yeah.
to match the company's culture.
It's like having a personal interview coach in your pocket.
It really is.
We'll dive deeper into how RoleCatcher can help you shine later on.
Okay, sounds good.
But for now, let's get back to those interview questions.
All right, let's jump back into those interview questions.
Okay, sounds good.
Up next is a question that often trips people up.
Ooh, what is it?
How do you maintain a clean and organized workspace during bicycle assembly?
Oh, interesting.
It might seem basic,
Yeah,
but the guide actually emphasizes
okay.
how crucial cleanliness is in a bike shop.
It's true when you think about it.
They-
You're dealing with grease oil, tiny parts.
Yeah, it's messy.
It's a recipe for chaos if you're not careful.
Exactly.
And a messy workspace isn't just inefficient.
Right.
It can also be a safety hazard,
Huge safety hazard.
especially when you're working with tools.
Absolutely.
So how should you approach this question?
What, you want to go beyond just saying, I'm a neat freak?
Okay, more detail.
Yeah, a more detailed answer will impress the interviewer.
Like what?
Talk about specific habits,
Okay.
like regularly cleaning up after yourself,
Makes sense.
designating areas for tools and parts,
Right.
and wiping down surfaces.
Even something as simple as mentioning that your own shop rags
Oh.
shows you're prepared
Yes.
and serious about keeping things tidy.
Great point. And be ready for a follow-up question.
Oh, like what kind of follow-up?
Like, imagine you're working on a complex repair and your workspace starts to get cluttered.
Yeah. Okay.
How do you stay organized and focused?
Ooh, that's a good one.
It's a chance to show that you can stay calm and efficient, even under pressure.
All right, moving on to question 6.
Okay.
How do you communicate effectively with colleagues and supervisors during bicycle assembly?
This one might seem obvious,
Yeah.
but clear communication is essential,
Yeah. Why is it so important?
especially when you're working on something as intricate as a bike.
Makes sense.
Miscommunication can lead to mistakes, delays,
Uh-oh.
and even safety issues.
Yeah, you don't want that.
The interviewer wants to know that you can express yourself clearly, listen attentively,
Right.
and ask clarifying questions.
So it's not just about talking.
No.
It's about being a good listener, too.
Exactly.
What else? What other tips do you have for answering this one?
You could also mention any systems you use for communication,
Okay.
like a whiteboard to track progress or regular team huddles.
I like that.
Mm.
And be prepared for a scenario-based question.
Oh, like what?
Like, you notice a colleague is assembling a bike incorrectly.
Okay.
How would you approach this situation? It's a test of your communication skills and D, your ability to work effectively with others.
That's a good one.
All right, let's tackle question 7.
Okay, number 7.
How do you stay up to date with the latest trends and technologies in bicycle assembly?
This one is super relevant.
It is. The industry is constantly evolving.
All the time.
So how do you show the interviewer
Yeah.
that you're not just content with the status quo?
Highlight your commitment to learning.
Okay.
Mention industry magazines you subscribe to,
Right.
trade shows you attend,
Makes sense.
or online forums you participate in.
Good idea. You could even talk about taking online courses or workshops
Absolutely.
to expand your knowledge of e-bike mechanics or specific assembly techniques.
Yeah, that shows initiative.
And don't be surprised if the interviewer asks,
Okay, what other?
what's a recent development in bicycle technology that you're excited about?
Oh, fun.
This is your chance to show off your passion and knowledge.
That's a good one.
Okay, question 8.
Hit me.
How do you ensure that bicycles are assembled to meet customer expectations?
This one's all about customer service,
Yes, we've talked about this.
which, as we know from the specialism section,
Right.
is a huge part of this job.
Exactly.
Remember, you're not just assembling bikes,
It's more than that.
you're building relationships with customers.
Okay.
Talk about how you take the time to understand their needs, explain the assembly process clearly,
Right.
and ensure they're happy with the final product.
You could even mention following up with customers after they've had a chance to ride their new bike
Oh, I like that.
to make sure everything's working smoothly.
That's a great touch.
Right?
It shows you genuinely care about their satisfaction.
It does.
And be ready for a question like,
Okay.
a customer is unhappy with the way their bike is shifting.
That's a common one.
How would you handle the situation?
Ooh, good question. Okay, 2 more to go.
We're almost there.
Question 9.
Number 9.
How do you prioritize and manage multiple bicycle assembly projects simultaneously?
Bike shops can get hectic.
They get so busy.
Yeah. And you might be juggling several bikes at once.
Yeah.
All with different deadlines.
So how do you stay on top of it all?
This question is all about showcasing your organizational
Okay.
and time management skills.
So how do you do that?
Talk about how you use a scheduling system,
Okay.
break down projects into smaller tasks,
Makes sense.
or delegate responsibilities when appropriate.
Maybe you even use a visual system like a whiteboard to track progress.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And be prepared for a follow-up question. Like,
Okay.
imagine you're working on 2 rush orders and a third urgent request comes in.
Oh.
How do you prioritize and manage your time effectively?
Ooh, that's a tough one. All right, last but not least,
The
question 10.
final countdown.
How do you ensure that all bicycles are assembled in compliance with industry standards and regulations?
This one's crucial
It is.
for safety and legal reasons.
Exactly. There are specific standards
Absolutely.
and regulations that govern bicycle assembly.
To ensure the bikes are roadworthy and safe to ride.
Right.
The interviewer wants to know that you're aware of these standards and take them seriously.
So how do you nail this answer?
Talk about your familiarity with the relevant standards
Okay.
and how you double-check your work against a checklist.
Good idea. Mention any specific training you've received or resources you consult to stay up to date.
Absolutely.
And be ready for a question like,
Okay, what do you have?
imagine you're assembling a bike and you notice a component that doesn't seem to meet safety standards.
Oh,
What would you do?
that's a good one.
Okay.
We've covered 10 common interview questions.
Wow. It's a lot.
But remember, this is just a starting point.
Okay.
Every interview is different.
Yeah, that's true.
And you might encounter unique questions specific to the company or the role you're applying for.
That makes sense. That's where RoleCatcher's AI features really come into play. Let's dive a little deeper into how RoleCatcher can help you personalize your answers and shine in that interview.
One of the things that sets RoleCatcher apart is its Beat the Automated Recruiter section.
What is that?
These days, your application might not even reach a human
Really?
if it doesn't get past those applicant tracking systems.
Oh, the ATS.
It's like a digital gatekeeper.
So how does RoleCatcher help you bypass this hurdle?
RoleCatcher analyzes the job description
Okay.
and helps you optimize your resume and cover letter
Right.
to match the keywords and phrases that ATS systems are looking for.
It's like having a secret weapon to help you get noticed.
Exactly.
And then there's the AI feedback feature we talked about earlier.
This feature is incredible
Amazing.
for fine-tuning your interview responses.
Yeah.
You can practice your answers, and the AI will analyze your delivery tone and content.
Wow.
It even offers suggestions for improvement based on the specific job you're applying for.
It's like having a personal interview coach.
It really is.
Who can pinpoint areas where you can improve and help you sound more confident and polished?
And the best part is,
What's that?
you can use RoleCatcher for free.
Really?
A free account gives you access to a ton of resources,
Like what?
including sample interview questions and tips.
So while we've covered some of the most common questions
Right.
you might encounter in a bicycle assembler interview, remember that every interview is unique.
Every single one.
Yeah.
By using RoleCatcher's tools and resources,
Mm-hmm.
you can tailor your preparation to the specific job you're after
Okay.
and increase your chances of landing that dream role.
Speaking of dream roles, let's shift gears
Okay.
and talk about the career path of a bicycle assembler.
I like where this is going.
The RoleCatcher guides actually outline different career stages,
They do.
from entry level all the way up to senior positions.
And what's really cool is that they include real-life examples
wow.
of people who have progressed through those stages.
If you're just starting out, you can see where your career could go and what kind of skills you'll need to develop along the way.
Let's say you're a newbie,
Yeah.
fresh out of bike mechanic school,
All right.
landing your first gig as an entry-level assembler.
Okay.
What does that look like?
Well, according to the guide,
All right.
you'd likely be assembling bicycles and accessory products
Okay.
under the watchful eye of more experienced assemblers.
Makes sense.
You'd be learning the ropes,
Mhm.
mastering the assembly instructions,
Right.
and of course adhering to all those safety procedures.
You're basically laying the groundwork
Yeah.
for your future as a bike guru.
Exactly. And even at this early stage, you're building that crucial foundation
It's so important.
of technical knowledge and hands-on experience
It's a foundation.
that'll serve you well throughout your career.
Absolutely.
But what happens when you've put in the time and honed your skills and are ready to move up to a junior assembler role?
Things get a little more exciting.
Oh, hassle.
They're not just assembling bikes. You're also tuning them,
Right.
making sure all the components are functioning perfectly,
That makes sense.
and maybe even helping train those entry-level assemblers.
It's a step up in responsibility.
It is.
And according to the career stage profiles in the guide,
Okay.
it's also where you start to flex your problem-solving muscles.
Exactly.
You're encountering more complex issues,
Right.
and you're collaborating with senior assemblers to find solutions.
It's a great opportunity to learn from the best.
It is.
Yeah.
And it's also where those opportunities for specialization start to emerge.
Oh, like what?
Maybe you discover you have a knack for working on e-bikes
Cool.
or high-end road bikes.
Or maybe you find that you really enjoy the training and mentorship aspect of the job
That's a good point.
and see yourself moving into a more supervisory role down the line.
All right, let's fast forward again.
Yeah,
You're killing it as a junior assembler and are ready to step into the big leagues
here we go.
as an intermediate bicycle assembler. What does a typical day look like at this stage?
Well, you're pretty much a solo artist now,
Oh, wow.
independently assembling and tuning all kinds of bikes,
Right.
including those complex models that might have stumped you earlier in your career.
You've leveled up,
You have.
and you're not just building bikes anymore.
What else?
You're also conducting quality inspections,
Oh, wow.
implementing corrective actions, and maybe even providing feedback to the product development
Yeah.
teams.
You're becoming a true expert in your craft.
Yeah.
And you're having a greater impact on the overall assembly process.
Okay, final level.
The top of the mountain.
Senior bicycle assembler.
All right.
What does it take to reach the top of the bike assembly food chain?
According to the guide,
Yeah.
senior bicycle assemblers are the leaders, the mentors, the problem solvers.
Right.
They oversee daily operations, champion best practices, and make sure everything runs smoothly and efficiently.
They're basically the Jedi Masters of the bike shop.
Exactly.
And they're also the ones who are constantly looking for ways to improve the process.
Yes, always innovative.
Whether it's through training new technologies or just plain old ingenuity.
It's amazing to see how much room for growth there is in this field.
It really is. You start by putting together basic bikes,
Right.
and you can end up leading a team shaping the future of bicycle assembly.
But it's not just about climbing the ladder.
What else is important?
The guide also emphasizes the importance of continuous learning,
Right.
no matter what stage of your career you're at.
The bicycle industry is a fast-moving train,
It is.
with new technologies, materials, and designs emerging all the time.
Even if you've been assembling bikes for years,
Yeah.
there's always something new to learn.
And that's something you should definitely highlight in your interview.
Absolutely.
Employers want to see that you're passionate about the industry and excited to keep learning and growing.
Show them that you're a lifelong learner.
Okay, we've talked about career stages, continuous learning, the power of RoleCatcher, and aced those interview questions.
We've covered a lot of ground.
But before we wrap things up, let's not forget about the elephant in the room,
Which is...
the e-bike revolution.
Oh, yes, the e-bike.
We touched on this earlier,
Briefly.
but it's worth diving a bit deeper
I agree.
into how this trend is impacting the world of bicycle assemblers.
E-bikes are no longer just a niche market. They're
Right.
becoming increasingly mainstream.
And that means bicycle assemblers need to adapt.
Right. Absolutely.
They need to develop new skills,
Yes.
learn about new technologies, and maybe even specialize in e-bike assembly.
The industry trends section of the RoleCatcher Guide provides some great insights into the growing e-bike market and what it means for assemblers.
So if you're interviewing for a bicycle assembler position, be sure to demonstrate that you're aware of this trend
Yeah,
and eager to embrace the challenges and opportunities it presents.
definitely.
Mention any experience you have with e-bikes, courses you've taken, or even just your general enthusiasm for this rapidly evolving technology.
Show them that you're forward-thinking and adaptable.
Yeah.
Those are valuable qualities in any industry.
All right, before we wrap up this deep dive, any final words of wisdom for our aspiring bicycle assemblers out there?
I think the biggest takeaway here is that the bicycle industry
Yeah.
is more dynamic than people realize.
It really is.
It's not just about fixing flats anymore.
Right, exactly.
Mhm.
And as a bicycle assembler,
Yeah.
you're not just putting parts together, you're playing a role in shaping how people experience cycling.
That's a good point.
Think about it, you're building the machines
Yeah.
that allow people to commute, explore, compete, and just have fun.
And with the rise of e-bikes,
Yes.
that experience is evolving even further.
It's true. You could be working on cutting-edge technology.
Absolutely.
That's changing how we think about transportation and recreation.
Exactly. So going into that interview, remember to project that enthusiasm.
Yeah, that's key.
Show them you're not just there for a job, you're there because you're passionate about bikes and eager to be a part of this dynamic industry.
Passion is contagious, and it's something that can really set you apart from other candidates.
Absolutely.
But let's not forget about the practical side of things.
Okay.
The RoleCatcher guides are packed with information
They are.
that can help you prepare for those tricky interview questions.
Yeah.
Tailor your resume, and even navigate those pesky applicant tracking systems.
Those AI features are a game changer.
They really are.
The personalized feedback can help you fine-tune your answers and present yourself in the best possible light.
It's like having a secret weapon in your arsenal, helping you stand out from the competition.
And the best part is,
What's that?
you can access all of this for free.
No way, that's awesome.
So as we wrap up this deep dive,
Yeah.
remember this.
Okay.
You have the passion, you have the resources, and now you have the knowledge to ace that bicycle assembler interview.
You got this.
Go out there, show them what you've got,
Yeah.
and get ready to embark on an exciting career in the world of bikes.
Happy assembling.